Hi guys, and welcome to the channel, the A to Z of moving to Egypt. About 5 years ago, I had this crazy dream that would it be possible to be able to move to Egypt, maybe just to spend a month, February, March, would it be possible? Well, I'm Kris, been coming to Egypt for about 26 years, lived here for 3, 2 years full-time, 1 year part-time, and in that, been a bit of a learning curve. A good one, been a bit of a learning curve. Before I came to move, I had a look around and I thought, has anybody done this before? Has anybody moved? Has anybody actually documented it? From the beginning to where they are. And I couldn't find anything, so I thought, right, well, when I get there, maybe I'll document mine a little bit, and if anybody else is thinking about doing it. Because on reflection in the UK, I wasn't living, I was just surviving. I was just getting through every day. I say without any doubt whatsoever, if you live in the UK, you're depressed. Big claim. What do you mean you're depressed? You're depressed because I don't think anybody's known what it's like not to be depressed. And I know that's a shocking statement, but I actually believe in it. And I would say again, the UK is trying to kill you. No, it's not trying to kill you. It's doing a very successful job of killing you. Very successful job. When you look at all the people that are dying early, in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, and then you look at the average age of, did I say death in England? 74. So you retire at 67. You've got this 8-year window. Oh, lordy. So I wanted to, if you are thinking, if you having that crazy dream like me, is it possible I could spend some time in Egypt? Obviously you must have been before. You've been a bit bold, you've ventured off from the all-inclusive, and you've gone down to Sheraton Street, you've gone to the marina, and you've done a little research and you think, ooh, you can buy property quite nicely over here. The interest rates in the bank are very good over here. The people are just, whoa. Crime and violence, not a thing. You feel safe, whether you're a man, woman, whatever. The weather. You cannot physically put a price, and this is just, you cannot put a price on waking up 365 days a year and looking out and seeing blue skies. Occasionally we have a few clouds. I saw a lady post recently, we have, in Hurghada, we have 5 days of rain. Absolute rubbish. We might have 15 minutes of rain maximum. Yeah, it doesn't rain. In fact, that's one thing I miss about the UK, a little bit of rain. But as my friends have very kindly reassured me, I won't see rain. I just go up to Cairo or to Alexandria. There it rains a lot. So that's right. When I'm needing a bit of a rain fix, I'll either go back to the UK, because even if I go back to the UK in July, it'll probably rain. So yeah, that's one of the real big pluses about living in Egypt is everything here is just so easy. I think the two fundamentals of life, or maybe the three, that I think the Egyptians have got spot on. That's the closeness of the family. Everybody lives together in one house because there's no borrowing. So houses are handed down and everybody lives in the same house. That's fantastic. And then transport. You can get around in Egypt for virtually a few pounds. From here to Luxor, from here to Cairo, from here to Aswan, just getting around. 50 pence, a pound, 10 pence, 20 pence in a minibus. Getting around is so easy. And that's one of the big things in life, isn't it? When you can just go and see people, or you can go here, or you can go there and go there. You're not stuck in one place, you can go wherever you want to be. Massive. And the other one is the availability of food. And this is 24/7, nearly. I can pick up the phone at 3 a.m. I'll go on a Telebat app, pick up food. Order food from the app, maybe 3 a.m, have it delivered. It's not as cheap as it used to be, but it's still very cheap. It's still very cheap, and there's some really lovely food that's available. In fact, my local place where I order from, I virtually ring up and say, "Oh, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?" "Oh, yes." No, it doesn't always work out perfect, but it's always good. It is always good. So I'll cover off buying, renting, and then we'll cover off the banking situation. Everybody from Europe, it's a big question. How much does it cost to live over there? How much can you buy an apartment for? How much? And there is quite a lot of misinformation. But one of my passions in life is clear, concise, accurate communication with accountability. So everything I will mention on this channel, in my videos, I will aim for them to be as accurate as possible. But also, if I mention something that's incorrect, you guys let me know and I will correct it, and I will do that straight away. Being here for over 26 years and living here, having a lot of Egyptian friends, having a lot of input, I do not profess to be the absolute ultimate authority on Egypt or Egyptian life. In fact, the more time I've spent here, I realise I know nothing. I do, not very little. And I will give you my honest opinion, and also I won't sit on the fence too much. If people ask me a question and say, should I do this, should I do that, I'll say, well, in my opinion, you should do this. I can't do with all this. But it's different for everybody. You may be a family, you may be single, you may be retired, you may be young. It can be different. So we'll run through a lot of different scenarios of different areas that would be better for different people. Should you rent? Should you buy? Should you consider, let's say, renting or buying? And then we'll look at the financial situation, which is a bank. I have many bank accounts over here. I have in the bank, I have an account in Egyptian pounds. Probably many people may know you can get, well, just a few months ago you were getting 27%. That's not the case. That's come down. It had to do. But the interest rate you can get when you put money here, currently around 20%, and you can take the interest every month. So that's 75% more than you're going to get in the UK. It's not quite as simple as that. It's not quite as simple as that, because to get that rate, you have to transfer from sterling or the euro into Egyptian currency. And a bit of a warning. Everybody, all the videos, all the TikTokers I've seen, and all the things, oh, stick your money in Egypt, you can't go wrong, you get 20%. Yeah, well, that's true. That is true. But there's something called the devaluation, which happened. And to give you a rough idea, if you would have transferred £100,000 from the euro or sterling into Egyptian pounds, put it in account in 2022, do you know how much that money would be worth today? Hazard a guess. How much would it be worth today? Well, inflation? Yeah. 36,000. That's because of something called the devaluation. Now, for most people, it is a very boring subject. However, it is a subject that if you're planning on coming over here and then putting some money over here and like living off the interest, which is very possible, many people do it. It's something that you should be aware of. Many of the accounts, certificates I have, and I've also credit cards that I can use externally and use my Egyptian currency that way. So I'll run through all the different bank accounts, all the different type of rates, how to open the account, what kind of card, what kind of fees, international transfers, in and out. That's something that I'm a bit geeky like that. And I know for a lot of people it's boring as hell. But for me, I like that type of stuff. Because if you don't look after your money or you don't know what's going on, somebody else will most certainly do it for you. So it's always good to be aware of the financial situation here. So the aim of this video is to document or an introduction to the videos that will follow, because it's too much to put in one. You'd all fall asleep out of boredom. You really would. But while I've been here in this, let's say in the 2 years, I've rented 5 apartments, and I bought and renovated, buying another. Here you can buy an apartment in 1 hour. 1 hour. If all your ducks are lined up and you've got the money, you've got the place, you've got the solicitor, you go to the office, blah 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 blah, transfer the money comes through, whew, you're done. None of this 3 months. There's a whole video on buying, a full video on renting, and it needs a full video because they are both big subjects. At the moment here in Hurghada which is where I'm currently located, there is massive supply of apartments. Every few metres they're building a new block, all aimed at tourist money, European money. Far too expensive for the Egyptians to buy, bless them. And some of the developers have become very, very, very greedy. Some of these developments are monstrosities, they're massive. You're walking for like 20 minutes before you get to your apartment. And if you have been to Hurghada and you have viewed some places, and you've walked in, you've gone through kind of a dark kitchen, a dark bedroom, then you finally get to the lounge sitting area. You walk through, you go onto a balcony, turn right, and you see the sea, and you think, oh, sea view. Oh, that's amazing. Don't be too hasty. Do not be too hasty. There are a lot of fantastic apartments all around Hurghada that offer fantastic views without being on some of these monstrosities, in my opinion, of developments. I've stayed at Al Dow, Scandic, The View, Sheraton, Mamshire. I wanted to try all these places out because sometimes you can have a small apartment right in the centre, that's fantastic. You can have a big apartment somewhere else. I wanted to try the different areas. So when I did the video, I can say, this is this area, this is that area. So I could be a little bit informative for people. So people can kind of think, oh yeah, well, we've looked at that area, and we'll try this, we'll try other others. So it was trying to offer the best kind of insight that I could. So maybe, like me, you've had this crazy dream. Could it be possible? Could it be possible? So in this series of videos, we're going to break it down, and we are going to start with 1 month. Just one. Just thinking, let's maybe try it for 1 month. Some of our friends have said, but Kris, what would I do? Really? I mean, I get that people are kind of indoctrinated into a way of thinking that you need somebody to tell you what to do. Oh, you need to be in the office at 8 o'clock and finish at 5 o'clock. That's what you need to do. And if somebody's not telling you that, then, well, what am I going to do? How about improving yourself? How about making you the best you can be? If you just learning language, can you see the sea reflection? Learning to dive, learning a sport. I literally could go on for hours about what you can do with your life. On YouTube, you can learn any skill any skill. But just, an hour and a half on a morning learning some Arabic. Then maybe going out on a boat and learning to dive. Then maybe visiting other areas. Go to Luxor, see the temples. Go up to Cairo, see the pyramids. Go down to Aswan, see Abu Simbel. The world is literally an oyster, and because things are so cost effective here, you can do it all. And just think how much more interesting, if you're retired or close to that age, how much more interesting you become to your family and to your grandkids. Oh, think, goodness, my mum's going out, my grandma's going out diving today. Grandma's been to the pyramids. My grandma's out on a boat. It's just, there are so many positives. I was just thinking the other day, if I was to compile a list of the positives and the minuses. So the positives have been here, and the kind of positives and minuses of England versus Egypt. And without a shadow of a doubt, be 90% positives for Egypt and some positives for the UK. I think the UK 10 years ago was a good place to be. I think now it's not. I remember in the 80s and 90s, there was a real feel-good factor. You could set up a business, it was a yuppies, a real good feel factor about being in the UK. And I think now in 2025, I think in 15 years' time, we will look back and we will say, 2025, that was great. Because it's just falling apart. The social structure, the culture, everything has just been destroyed by weak government and weak people in charge. And even when I speak to people back in England, there's just this massive air of despondency. Oh, Kris, I've got low I've got low mood. I've got low self-esteem. I'm social anxiety. Oh, anxiety. Oh, come on. But I'm not surprised. As I mentioned when I started, if you live in the UK, you're depressed, and the UK is trying to kill you, and it's doing a good job. So don't beat yourself up. Do not beat yourself up. The UK is such an inhospitable place to live. I've got friends who live here and they live outside. And you might think, goodness, don't you do anything to help them, Chris? All I will say is that they may live outside, but they are the happiest people I've ever met. They are, well, not ever met, but they are really, really, really happy. Like a lot of the kids I see playing on the street. They're playing on the street, and a lot of them, but they're all happy. The default position here tends to be much happier than the default position back in the UK. It just does. I say, without any shadow of a doubt, every day I wake up and I'm a 7 out of 10. Nearly every day I go to bed, I'm a 9 out of 10. And some days I go to bed a 10 out of 10. I think, today could not have got any better. How? You cannot put a price on that. You cannot, that is just, and the fact I've got that view, which I'll show you in a minute, that view to look at every single day. So, my aim with these videos is to help lower your fears, give you some idea on the positives, give you some idea of the mental process I went in order to get here, because that's the biggie. That's the biggie. The kind of mental roller coaster of fear. I'm scared. But nearly everything I thought that was a negative. I've said the family aspect. No. The family. The family. Oh, friends. No. I've become a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I needed all the help I can get, but I've become an awful lot cooler since I live here. Oh, come and see you. Come and see you. At first, I said to everybody, come. Now it's, whoa, steady on. I'm busy. Yeah, I'm busy. Everybody's realised and cottoned on to just how flipping awesome Egypt is. But that's for me. It may be different for everybody. So I'll give you all the kind of instances I've had, and you can make then an informed opinion. Also, I'm going to cover off healthcare and the dentist. The dentistry I was staggered. First time I went in, he took x-rays of all my gums, sat me down, and he went, "Have you not had dental care for a long time?" He said, because it basically said, "You're being butchered." And he said, "Does that hurt?" And I said, "It's uncomfortable, but I put up with it." And then pressing on, "Does that hurt?" And I went, "It's just a bit uncomfortable, but I put up with it." And he went, "Yeah, you've got 2 abscesses down there that have been there for a long time. They need addressing. You've got a cracked tooth here. You've got something here." And I went back a few times. You get seen. I had an abscess. I called him up. Come see me straight away, Chris. Come and see me straight in. I've had some implants. I think they were about 200 quid. So the dental care, incredible. Pharmacies, as you know, is over it. There's no NHS, but you can go in a pharmacy. You can get blood pressure tablets. You can get Viagra. You can get Manjaro. Is it? Ozempic. 50 quid. 50 quid. I know what you're thinking. I know what you think. Oh, there's a free holiday there. I can go over and stack up a little bit and have a free holiday. I don't know if that's possible. But yeah, so things are. And my utility bill for this apartment, so gas, electric, water, everything else, less than £10 a month. £10 sterling, €12 a month, and that's with the aircon on. Heaters on in the winter should you need them, and sometimes you do. I never have to think about it. £10. So whatever you're paying in the UK, if you're a month, you probably just what you will save on energy costs. I'll probably save you coming over. So yeah, 1 month. We'll start with 1 month. My first month, and how for you coming over, renting an apartment for a month, because you won't want to stay on an all-inclusive, I wouldn't have thought. Because with an all-inclusive, you could be anywhere in the world. You could be Portugal, you could be Mexico, you can be anywhere. So in order to start an integration a little bit and getting used to Egyptian life, renting an apartment, of which there are many, we'll discuss that, and also about the rental agreement, signing it, putting a deposit down, things to look out for. There is an element, if you've been to Egypt, there is an element of, people use the word scamming. I don't quite like that word, but if you're not very careful, you can end up paying for things. I will cover all that off. The video on renting and buying is about an hour long. It's so in detail, but it needs to be. It needs to be. If that's of interest to you, okay? If that's something you're considering doing, knowledge is power, isn't it? Knowledge is power. And I've been scammed. Yeah, I've been actually scammed, where people have said no, it's not been a vast amount of money. It's more up the principle of things. So I'll bring it to a close there. Thank you ever so much for taking the time out to watch. I know everybody's busy, so I really do appreciate it, and sharing my journey, and hopefully inviting you on yours, because it has been, and it's not life changing. I think it's been life saving for me. I had a few things happen in the UK, completely out of my control, and a little bit sad, and it was a case of, as I mentioned, I felt I was just existing. Is that how you feel? You're just existing. You're just going through the motions, or do you wake up a 7 out of 10 and finish on a 9 out of 10? Is that life's short? Life's short. And when there's so many people I know that are just letting life pass them by, and what happens when it's passed by? That's it. You only get one chance at this, don't you? I can heartily recommend. Not for everybody, but for the biggest majority, it's fantastic. So I will just show you. So yeah, this is the view from my apartment. And I don't care where you were in the world. Mauritius, Seychelles. Okay, that would take some beating. And this apartment is not expensive at all. It's all relative, by the way. It is all relative, but it's not so expensive. So guys, I hope that's been of some use. I really do. I really do. And if you can, it's going to be a pretty niche channel, is this. I'm not going to have loads of people. I'm just not. It's niche. So if you can subscribe, then when the other videos come out, you get notification. Otherwise, you might not be able to see them, and that would be appreciated. So lots of love to everybody. Ciao for now. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks again for viewing, and I'll see you again in the next one. Ciao for now.